All right, folks, let's take a quick look here at Chop Suey and kind of see what's going on. That's just kind of the nickname I have for it for right now. It's just kind of poking fun just because of how volatile this coin is. This coin did very well recently when Bitcoin broke out. Okay, so keep in mind, this wasn't just based on the simple fact that it decided it wanted to move. It's moving because Bitcoin's moving. That's the concept. It's just moving a lot faster and stronger than most altcoins. It is, however, in that resistance range we discussed previously between 160 and 170. So if you saw my analysis throughout the weekend, you'll know kind of where my thoughts were there. But our local high here of 160, 158 rather, is probably likely to be the new low. So we see Bitcoin pull back to, 90,000, which is somewhat expected at this point, at least that range of 90 to 91. I think the inevitability of seeing that pivot or a bounce from there is higher. However, you got to recognize ton of fair value below the price, not always the best consideration for taking along just because the previous high. With so much value below the price, we're going to see if that's consistent with liquidation. And if it is, then it may not be a good call to take along at that level. But for right now, bumper sticker version 160, 158 seems like a decent area to consider. Taking a look here, we can recognize the side-by-side with Bitcoin. It is performing very synonymous with Bitcoin in the last 24 to 48 hours. Okay, so a lot of the same price action for pullback. So just because it ramped up and did very well doesn't mean it's going to continue to. With it correlating directly with Bitcoin here leads me to believe that we're more likely to go down. Okay, at least just on the short term. I'm certainly not bearish in this coin because I think the macro structure looks pretty good if I recall correctly, because we are over the 20-day SMA while we still have a ton of moving averages above the price and our macro high of 193, or sorry, previous low support of 193. That's going to be the next potential area of resistance for us. So we're just going to pay attention to that and kind of see where that takes us. But let's double check the backend data and just make sure we are looking at the big picture here. So take a look at SUI on the right-hand side. We can see tons of open interest below the current price action. 156 to 160 is that heavy accumulation. That leads me to believe that's going to be the next area of consideration. The price should pull back to that level, but it'll also probably bounce in that range too. But liquidation delta is super high, which is very good, and there's a ton of liquidation above the price upwards of 190 now. So a lot of people are shorting this coin. But as you can see, what happened in the previous shorts, they all got absolutely destroyed at 170, 160. That's why, generally speaking, when I talk about this coin, the general rule of thumb, at least for our community, is to make sure you don't trade this coin to the downside and you're only taking longs. It's just you're statistically more favorable to find that benefit. So with all that being said, at this point, you're probably better off waiting for a long in the 150 to 160 range versus trying to take a long right now at the top. But there's a lot of confirming factors here letting us know if Bitcoin pumps, SUI will do so as well. It'll continue a bit further. But I think that short-term liquidity, that buy-side liquidity, has been swept, and there's a decent chance that we do capitulate just a little bit. My money is in the 158 range. I would say worst case course 140. That's a better case scenario if the fair value gap gets filled. That's going to require Bitcoin to go sub 90K though. And I think that's less likely at this point. But once more, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Why don't you comment below? Don't forget to take advantage of this awesome offer. Actually, starting December 5th through January 5th, we have an awesome promotional bonus here with Bitunix. We've always provided these monthly to our community. And this also does come with a fee reduction if you use my link to register. So please make sure you check that out. It's awesome stuff and definitely very helpful. We've also got the 25 days of Christmas sale here for CryptoCache. So that is an offer that's available. There's only 21 slots available. So make sure you reference that. It's in my Discord or Telegram. Feel free to reach out through social media down below too if you're interested. Either way, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you next one. Take care.